Hi friends, today we are going to read Merry Christmas, Curious George, and it is by Margaret and H.A. Ray. This is George. He lives with his friend the man with the yellow hat. He is a good little monkey and always very curious. Today George was visiting a Christmas tree farm. "You can help me pick out the perfect tree for our house," his friend told him. "Keep close to me while we look." George promised to be good, but little monkeys sometimes forget. The Christmas tree farm had more trees than George had ever seen. He found a real nice one right away, but then another caught his eye. And then another, and another. George was curious, how many Christmas trees could there be? George could not resist climbing up the tallest tree to get a better view. He looked for the man with the yellow hat, but his friend was nowhere to be seen. Two men tromped into the clearing. "There's our tree," one man told the other, and the men cut down the tree and loaded it onto a truck. Oh no. George was being curious again. Along with George held on tight. He saw the man with the yellow hat as the truck drove away, but the truck was going too fast. George could not jump off. He was scared, but still a little curious. Soon the truck stopped in front of a hospital. George peeked up out of the branches as the men carried his tree inside. The hospital was a busy place. George jumped out of the tree. There were lots there to see and do. He looked at some interesting pictures. He found a jacket and tried it on. He played on a trampoline. He even went for a ride on a speedy little car. What fun! Then George spotted something very interesting, his tree. George knew the Christmas tree was supposed to have tinsel and twinkling lights and tiny shiny ornaments, but this tree was empty. George thought, and then he had an idea. "Oh, look at that. I see face masks and clipboards and crutches and all kinds of things you find in a hospital." Next, George noticed a pile of gifts in the corner of the room. The gifts looked pretty, but George was curious. Could he make them even prettier? The red bow could look much better on a green box, and the name tags might look nicer on different packages too. A nurse arrived. What did she see? A monkey. And he's making a mess. A group of children crowded around the nurse. They were all patients in the hospital. Even though it was almost Christmas, the children were not smiling or looking happy. "Come along," the nurse said, picking George up. "We'd better get you out of here before you ruin anything else." A girl with a cast stared at George's tree. Suddenly she giggled. "Look," she said, "it's my X-ray." A boy laughed. "There's a balloon from my room." All the children chattered and laughed as they looked at George's funny decorations. "Can't he stay for the party?" a boy asked the nurse. "We don't mind about the gifts. It will be fun to sort them out. Please let him stay, please," the other children chimed in. When she saw how happy the children looked, the nurse looked happier too. "I suppose he can stay if he promises to fix the tree." George was happy to help. The children helped too. Some of them returned George's decorations while others handed George the real ornaments. He scampered up and down, stringing lights and hanging tinsel. Being a monkey, he was good at that sort of thing. He was also good at making the children laugh. When the tree was finished, George helped open the gifts. He was having such a good time, he completely forgot he was lost. Until the man with the yellow hat hurried into the room. "There you are, George," he cried. "I followed the truck all the way here." George was so happy to be reunited with his friend. The nurse invited them both to stay for milk and cookies. "Ho, ho, ho! Did someone mention milk and cookies?" A man with a red suit walked into the room, his belly jiggling. He was holding a beautiful golden star. George's eyes widened. It was Santa Claus. "Who would like to put the star on top of the tree?" Santa asked. "George," the children cried at once. "Let George do it." George scampered up the tree one last time. He put the golden star in place carefully. "Merry Christmas, Curious George." I hope you enjoyed Merry Christmas, Curious George. Have a good day.